During the 2020 pandemic, I took up drawing as a form of expression.
Once universities started opening up and becoming in person again, I was able to attend classes on how to draw still lifes and how to draw a portrait.
I especially enjoyed learning how to draw portraits because everyone's face is so different. No two faces are alike. Today, I'm going to be discussing with you guys some of the famous portraiture artists who have helped me find my own process through their words of advice and their words of wisdom. Some of the artists include Lynn Hirschman Leeson. We're going to be talking about William Kendridge, Albert Giacometti, and finally Pablo Picasso, because you can't do portrait drawing without talking about Pablo Picasso. Come on. I hope that through this video I am helping make portrait drawing a little bit more accessible, and I hope that you learn something through this video. And with that, we are going to begin. So, you're going to need some charcoal, some newsprint paper, and a mirror. As you can see here, I'm using my whole arm in order to draw shapes. Leeson describes the process of learning to draw using different materials as learning, quote, a new form of basic language for me, end quote, in her video, Drawing Breath, an interview posted by Art21 on April 21st, 2021. I like to keep Leeson's words in mind when trying out new materials because we really are learning a brand new form of language and communication. Listen to the way your hand feels holding the material. Note how your body is reacting to holding the charcoal. Are you nice and loose in your arm? Are you doing big, grand motions? Or are you really tight and using your wrist? Teeny tiny motions, very, very small, controlled. In his interview, Pain and Sympathy, posted by Art21 on April 2nd, 2010, William Kendridge describes his process of analyzing a subject as, quote, a compassionate process. So let's follow Kendridge's advice for this project and try and gaze at ourselves in the mirror compassionately, without judgment. And as we are working on this project, try to convey the message that you want to convey without your words, just with your lines. The easiest way for me to start my portraits starts with me looking at my face shape. I have a rounder face, so I tend to go more round and circular towards the jawline. From here, we divide the face into two halves. The top half is going to be the forehead with the eyebrows, while the second half is going to be the eyeballs, nose, mouth, and chin. Try to make each line that you're putting on the page meaningful. Albert Giacometti is a famous artist who drew many, many portraits of the subject James Lord. In fact, James Lord spent so much time with Albert Giacometti that he ended up writing a book and publishing it in 1965 called A Giacometti Portrait. In this novel, James Lord quotes Cometti saying, "It is impossible to do the thing the way I see it because the closer I get, the more difficult I see." Giacometti is known for his notorious practicing. He drew and redrew his portrait of James Lord over 100 times before he finally felt confident enough to show the public what he had produced. Lord also quotes Giacometti saying, "I don't know if I work in order to do something or in order to know why I can't do what I want to do." This is often why when Giacometti wasn't happy with his work, he would destroy it. And he would start the process completely all over again. While I don't agree with Giacometti throwing out his work and destroying it, I think there's a valuable lesson to be learned in Giacometti's intensity and dedication to drawing portraits, to drawing James Lord. Another artist who shares Giacometti's passion for practice and implementation is Pablo Picasso. Similarly to Giacometti, Picasso also stresses mindfulness or awareness behind one's implementation of an art project like portraiture. PabloPicasso.org also includes a number of quotations from Picasso himself during the time he was alive, from October 25th, 1881 to April 8th, 1973. Though there is no exact date for Pablo Picasso's quotes, the quote that stood out to me the most was in regards to his creative process. Picasso says, and I quote, "Every act of creation is first an act of destruction." Further breaking down Picasso's words, we must strip the subject of our project down to the most basic lines and shapes. For example, when I draw my eyes, I use straight lines in order to create this sort of lemon shape. Another example would be how I draw lips. The top lip is usually a thin, sort of spread out M shape, while the bottom lip is a widened upside down horseshoe. As I wrap up this video, I'm going to leave you all with a few questions to think about. First, do you see yourself creating a portrait of any type in the future? If so, why or why not? What materials would you use? And in the future, I really hope to see more informational videos about artists and art on YouTube, because I think it's something that should be way more accessible than it already is. So create, share, explore art, explore your process. Thanks so much.